Hi, welcome to your channel, Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. I'm your host, Dr. Ghosh, and I'm back today with another very inspirational, motivational, and transformational video for all of you. Friends, the video I bought for you today is about an inspirational Indian Maharaja, General Maharaja Sir Ganga Singh, the Maharaja of Bikaner from 1880 to 1943. He reigned for over 56 years, one of the longest reigns of an Indian Maharaja. He was one of the rare kings, princes who brought about partial democracy in Bikaner, and he was a member of the Imperial War Cabinet. He was the only Indian Maharaja present in the palace of Versailles during the signing of the Paris Peace Treaty, the signing of which in the Hall of Mirrors in 1919 brought an end to the World War I. A totally inspirational Maharaja who ran a welfare state for his people. I'll be sharing his achievements shortly on the video, but before that, I wanted to share with you a brief about the channel Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. I started this channel 2 years back to share inspirational, motivational, and transformational videos with you. My mission is to ensure that we change the mindset of the coming and present generations so that they live by the eternal human principles. What are these eternal human principles? These are principles such as loyalty, honesty, integrity, respect for womanhood, respect for diversity, respect for our parents. These principles are eternal and do not change over time and place. Living by these principles is the only way forward for mankind in these conflict ridden days. How do we fulfill my mission? I do this by sharing with you daily updates, inspirational updates on my Facebook and WhatsApp channels, whose link is there in the video, and also sharing with you videos on your YouTube channel, Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. Today, on this channel, we have got over 718 subscribers. My heartfelt gratitude to all my subscribers. Thank you, subscribers. We've got over 25,000 views and 330 videos uploaded on the channel. For all those of you who have not yet subscribed or come onto the channel for the very first time, please do subscribe to the channel and share these motivational, inspirational videos with your friends and family. Encourage them to join our family of Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. Mankind needs your support. I am told, friends, that my videos are being shown in multiple orphanages in Chennai. I've got a call from these orphanages, and these orphanages are saying that my videos are making a difference and changing the life and mindset of young orphan children. Encourage them to live by these eternal success principles. Let's go back to our video. The inspirational Indian I'm speaking about today, like I shared with you earlier, is General Maharaja Sir Ganga Singh, the Maharaja of Bikaner. He was born on the auspicious day of Vijayadashmi on 13 October 1880 to Maharaj Shri Lal Singh Sahib and Rani Maji Shri Chandravatiji Sahiba. His earlier education took place under Pandit Ram Chandra Dubey. He was then privately tutored at Mayo College, Ajmer, and then also tutored by Sir Brian Egerton. Administrative training was also imparted to him by Sir Brian Egerton. His military training was at Deoli. He went to Deoli in 1898 and joined the 42nd Deoli Regiment, then considered one of the finest fighting force and regiments in the Indian British forces. It was under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Bell. What really endeared the Maharaja to his British officers and the British army generals was his willingness to serve in China during the Boxer Rebellion. The Maharaja during World War I also commanded the Bikaner Camel Corps, which saw service in France, Egypt, and Palestine. He was a brave and valiant warrior and did not hesitate putting his life at risk in the service of his state and the British Empire. He also endeared himself to the people of Bikaner by being pro-democracy. He took multiple steps to take care of his people. As a ruler, he appointed a chief court in Bikaner, which has a chief judge and two judges. This was one of the first states in Rajasthan to do so. He set up a representative assembly in 1930, so Bikaner proceeds towards being a partially democratic state. He set up a high court with a chief justice and two sub-judges in 1922, the first ruler in Rajasthan to grant the full charter of powers to a high court. He set up a life insurance and endowment assurance scheme for employees in the state of Bikaner. He set up one of the first savings bank facilities for the people of Bikaner. He was one of the first rulers in India to support the Sharda Act, which stopped child marriages. He was granted a 17 personal gun salute in 1918 and a 19 gun salute in 1921 for his services towards the state of Bikaner and the British Empire. He became a honorary ADC to the Prince of Wales in 1902, and later, when the Prince of Wales was crowned His Majesty King George V, the King Emperor in 1910, the Maharaja became a trusted friend and advisor to the King and Emperor. He was serving in various fronts his state of Bikaner and the British Empire. Name a few, while naming all is not possible, is he was a member of the Central Recruiting Board of India in 1917. He represented India in the Imperial War Conference 1917, an honor given exclusively to him among the many Maharajas of India. He became a part of the Imperial War Cabinet, and when at the end of the war in 1990, the Paris Peace Conference was signed in Versailles, ending the war in the Palace of Versailles in the Hall of Mirrors, he was one of the few original signatories, an honor given to no other Indian Maharaja. He was the head and chancellor of the Indian Chamber of Princes between 1920 and 1926. He was a patron of the Banaras Hindu University, the first member of the Indian Red Cross Society, and very famous Indian Freemason. He was the chairman of the Doon School. He made a difference to Bikaner state and the British Empire. He got married 3 times and had 6 children. His other achievements, over and above some of the few which I've already shared with you earlier, is he made, in view of the frequent droughts in his state, he became very interested in irrigation systems and set up an irrigation system in Bikaner. He constructed the Ganga Canal. He developed Shri, Ganga Nagar and surrounding areas to becoming the grain bowls of Rajasthan, and India. An outstanding achievement, entering dot forever in the royal state of Bikaner. He established and constructed the Lalgarh Palace in Bikaner in memory of his father. He was one of the first few states to introduce railways and electricity. He became known for his prison reforms and what is being followed today in Tihar jail. He allowed the prisoners to craft and weave carpets, and these were exported, and prisoners paid for this crafting and weaving. He introduced partial internal democracy in Bikaner state by forming municipalities and council of members to advise him on all his actions. He introduced land reforms, set up several schools and colleges, and built multiple temples. He died on 2nd February 1943 at Bombay, having reigned for 56 years, aged 62 years. To honor his memory, the Government of India renamed the University of Bikaner as Maharaja Ganga Singh University in 2003. Friends, Maharaja General Sir Ganga Singh, the Maharaja of Bikaner, who was the only Indian Maharaja present in the palace of Versailles in the Hall of Mirrors during the signing of the Paris Treaty, or the Treaty of Versailles, which ended the First World War. He was an able administrator and ran a welfare state, introduced partial democracy, and was a trusted friend and advisor of His Majesty King and Emperor King George V. A man, a mark, General Sir Maharaja Ganga Singh of Bikaner state. He has left an indelible mark in Indian history and will be remembered by countless countrymen of the democracy of India. Friends, I'm sure you are inspired by these inspirational, transformational, and motivational stories, highlighting people living by the eternal human principles. I request you once again, please do subscribe to the channel Generous, Gracious and Gallant and join our family. Today we've got over 330 videos uploaded on the channel. We have got 25,000 views and 718 subscribers in our family. Please join our family. I would also request you, please share these videos with your friends and family. Encourage them to become a part of our family. Living by these eternal human principles is the only way forward to mankind. I will be back soon with another very transformational video on your favorite channel, Generous, Gracious and Gallant. Till then, good luck, all the best.